Well, on my way home from work the other day, I stopped by Hobby Lobby and picked up some silver paint. So what I did is, as you see, is I put the little knob in that's going to be covered inside the bell on the little knife, so I have something to hold the knob, the paint. So when you take your brush, you want to use good, gentle strokes, but remember, you can't do it all in one basic coat. So multiple coats will be required. Just take your time and just, put the paint on there, have fun, and be sure to look for the high points and the low points of the work. After one coat of paint, you can tell that it's way too thin, so it's going to take at least 2 to 3 more coats of paint. Maybe a touch hair sanding, but it's going to definitely take maybe 2 or 3 coats of paint. So let's get to work. Now this is where the fun begins. Now it's time to start painting the bottom of the bell, especially that little bitty rim. As you can see, that little paintbrush I'm using is a detailed paintbrush. So here is where it takes to be very patient, which anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a very patient person. But slow and steady as it goes. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be afraid to make a mistake, because that's what painting is going to have sometimes. It's just mistakes. Just take your time. Don't be afraid, to make a little mistake here and there, because you got more paint to cover up the mistake and some sandpaper if you need to. As you can see, we got our basic paint job done. The bell body, the rim, and the top have been attached. So, since it's Christmas themed, let's figure out what we're going to do Christmas wise as a special design for it. I decided to do something basic and simple for this bell front design. So, what I need to do is decide where my center point is going to be. So I'll take my pencil and I roughly draw a straight line down, as you can see. And what I want to do again is to take and draw another center line going the other direction of that line, as you can see. So I have a center base of where I want to put my design. So now I'm going to extend it just a hair, make corrections that I feel need to be made, and heck, why not? I'll just be nice and go ahead and tell you I've decided to make a snowflake. So let's make an X pattern in the center of that. And then we'll draw little bitty points here and there on the ends, basically arrows pointing up and down on each end, as so. Just keep your hand steady and don't be afraid to make a mistake, because you're at a stage right now where if you do make a mistake, you can easily fix it without going past the point of no return. Now this is where having a steady hand is very important. Now what you need to do now is take your detail brush with a fine tip, as I have, and start applying some paint. What I chose to use is Snow White paint. Just make sure your strokes are steady, consistent, and do not be in a hurry, because this is where making mistakes is a lot harder to cover up. Don't be afraid to use light coats at the very beginning, because you can always go back over it to darken it up, especially since the background is purple and you're using a Snow White paint, which is a little on the thin side, but multiple coats of the white paint, it'll look really well. So let's sit back and just watch the paint job. Here you have it, guys. The bell is finished. I hope you enjoyed the process of making this bell. Feel free to go back and watch the other videos of how this bell was made. Until next time.